subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.
That's just how we roll. You know what it is, what it is. How we roll. You know what it is, what it is. That's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. You know what it is, what it is. How we roll. You know what it is, what it is. That's just how we roll.
Happy day. Listen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of At Home with Goldn Bronze. This is take 2. The first one, well, it didn't turn out so well. But I am your host, your girl, your seasoned but still spicy, fun-loving, world-traveling, peace-protecting, occasionally opinionated, but not about to argue with you. No, ma'am, no, sir. I am your host, Goldn Bronze. And today, I need to get something off of my chest. I have reached a point in my life where I have absolutely no desire to argue with you. None. Zip. Zero. Zip again. I do not want to argue in the morning. I do not want to argue at lunch. I certainly don't want to argue before bedtime. And please don't wake me up wanting to debate something. Lord, no. I have no desire to argue. Do you hear me? You know what? You can have it. Have the argument. Have the last word. Have the first word too. I don't care. Have the entire conversation by yourself if you want to, because I'm tired. And I don't mean that I am too tired to express myself. Certainly not. I don't mean that I don't know how to communicate. Absolutely not. I can communicate. I am articulate. I have the words. I have the vocabulary. I have the emotional intelligence. I have examples. Sometimes I have evidence. Sometimes I have receipts. I have dates and times. I may even have screenshots. But I have reached a beautiful stage in life where I have learned that just because I can argue or debate doesn't mean I want to. And honey, there is a difference, because there was a time when I would debate until the argument or the debate had grandchildren of its own. And oh yes, if you said something that I disagreed with, I was always ready. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? That's not what really happened. Where did you get that from? Who told you that? Why do you believe everything that somebody else tells you? Now hold on just a minute. And before you know it, we had been talking for 2 hours. Nobody was happy. Nobody had changed their mind. Everybody was repeating themselves. Some people were talking over me. Somebody was walking back and forth. Somebody had hung up the phone. Mostly my mother did that. And somebody had sent a text that said K. The letter K. Oh, y'all know K is fighting language for some people. Because okay, spelled O-K-A-Y, means everything is probably all right. But when somebody just sends you the letter K, you know there's a whole situation happening behind the scenes. But today I am so different. Today, when somebody wants to argue with me or debate, I look at them and think, bless your heart. Because arguing or debating with that overzealous energy requires too much energy. And let me tell you something about energy. The older I get, the more valuable my energy becomes. I am not spending it trying to convince a grown person of something they have absolutely no desire to understand. Sometimes people just don't want to understand. Nowadays, everybody wants to debate something. Now, listen, I don't know what has happened in this world, but it seems like everybody wants to debate about something. Social media has turned people into professional debaters. Everybody is an expert. You cannot say, I like apples, without somebody saying, well, actually, apples have too much sugar. Somebody asks you, I just said I like apples. Then somebody else comes in, well, what kind of apples? Then another person says, I don't eat apples. I don't eat them because they have too many pesticides. And before you know it, somebody has written a 1,500 word comment explaining why eating apples is destroying our society. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my, I just wanted a snack. Why do we have to turn everything into a debate? Somebody says they like a particular restaurant, and here comes somebody else. That food is nasty. Okay, then don't eat there, is my thought. Somebody says, I enjoyed that movie. Someone else says, I didn't. Wonderful. Now we have two opinions. We survived. Let's carry on. Nobody had to call the police. Nobody had to write a dissertation. Nobody had to bring in historical evidence. It's okay for people to disagree. It is okay to agree to disagree. But do you know how many people don't believe that if you disagree with them, that's okay? Some of us have forgotten that. It is okay to agree to disagree. Disagreement is not an emergency. Somebody can have a different opinion without you having to personally escort them to the Department of Wrongness. Oh my God, you can have the last word, is my thought. This is a big one for me. I have reached the point where you can have the last word. Matter of fact, you can have the last 5 words. I ain't got time for it. Go ahead. Say whatever you need to say. You can even repeat it if it makes you feel better, because I have discovered something. Some people are not looking for communication. They are looking for victory. They don't want resolution. They just want to win. And when somebody is determined to win an argument, there is no reason to even participate. Because you can say, the sky is blue, and they will say, no, it's not. Okay, whatever you say. You can say, today is Friday, and they will say, well, technically, depending on where you are in the world, it could be Thursday or it could be Saturday. Sir, ma'am, I don't care. Sometimes I just look at people and say, you are absolutely right. And let me tell you something. That statement right there will confuse an argumentative person, because they were prepared for a fight. They came with the helmet. They had their notes. They had their receipts. They had been thinking about this argument since 1998. They came to win. And you just say, you know what? You are right. And now they don't know what to do. They weren't prepared for that. And I'll tell you what, I don't have to attend every argument I'm invited to. One of the best lessons I have learned is that I do not have to attend every argument I am invited to. I just don't have to do it, because some people are always sending invitations. They don't send them by mail. Oh, no, 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 no. They send them by text. They send them through Facebook. They send them through family members. Oh, yeah. A lot of times, and most of the times, through the old faithful family members. They don't care about your feelings. Did you hear what they said about you? Is what one person might say. Now, see, that's an invitation to what? An argument, a debate, trying to prove your innocence, trying to prove your position. I don't have time for that anymore. And years ago, I might have said, what did they say? Oh, but now, no, I don't even want to know. I don't even care. Please do not tell me what somebody said about me unless they have called me directly and scheduled an appointment. Because why am I going to get upset about a conversation I wasn't even in or knew anything about? Somebody can say, did you know so and so doesn't like you? And I want to say, that's okay. I'm sure we both are going to sleep tonight. Who says that I don't like, who says that I like them? The feeling just might be mutual. Nobody ever is going to like us. All the time, that is. Not everybody is going to like us. Some people are not going to like you just because of how you look, how you dress, how you talk, how you walk, where you're from. They just, not everyone is going to like us. And the older I get, the more I understand that, and the less I care. Some people won't like you because of something you did. Some won't like you because of something they misunderstood. Some won't like you because somebody else doesn't like you. There's a whole list of reasons somebody might not like you. Now, why would you lose sleep over that? I used to. I am a different person. And some people won't like you because you remind them of something they wish they had done with their own lives, but you did it first. But whatever the reason, I do not have to argue about it. You don't like me? Okay. I wish you well. That's between you and God. I have nothing to do with it. Now, we're going to talk about the dangerous, and we're going to talk about what did you mean by that. Oh, Lord. That is a hook. What did you mean by that? I tell you what I meant, exactly what I said. But there are certain people who can't take that simple statement and turn it into a full investigation. Some people that can take that simple statement and turn it into a full investigation. I'm going to repeat that a third time. There are certain people who can take that simple statement and turn it into a full investigation. You could say, I think I'm going to bed early tonight. And they say, what did you mean by that? I mean, I'm tired. You can say, I don't feel like talking today. Oh, so you don't want to talk to me? That's how they perceive it. That's not what I said. I said, I don't feel like talking today. Not necessarily just to you. I just don't feel like talking. Or you can say, I think I need some time alone. Oh, I see. So now I'm bothering you. That's how they perceive it. Where did you get that from? I just want some me time. This is why sometimes you have to be careful with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Because no matter how carefully you explain yourself, they will still find something else to argue about. And I have learned that when somebody keeps twisting everything you say, it's not always a communication problem. Sometimes they are just looking for something to be upset about. Have you ever wrote an email, text message, or said something to somebody and they pick it apart and come back at you in defensive mode? Guess what? I'm not applying for that position. I opt out. If you're going to take everything I say in a negative way, twist it, turn it, or make it mean something other than what it meant, go right ahead without me. I opt out. But some of y'all argue with people who aren't even listening to you. Let me tell you something. You are standing there giving a beautiful presentation. You have made excellent points. You are calm. You are articulate. You have evidence. You have screenshots. You have receipts from 1993. And the person you are arguing with is not listening to a single word that you are saying. They are simply waiting for you to stop talking so they can say what they were going to say anyway. You could be reading them the weather forecast and they still would be preparing for their response. It's people like that. That's when you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing? Because communication is supposed to involve listening. Communication is not two people waiting for their turn to talk. That's what we're doing now. That's a podcast. No, seriously. Some people don't want to understand. They want the microphone. And if you are constantly trying to get someone to listen to you, sometimes the answer is just to stop talking. Not necessarily you have nothing to say, but because you are tired of saying important things to someone who has already decided that they don't want to hear you. Well, here's the real touchy part, the family arguments. Oh boy, they used to make me ill for 6 months to a year. Oh, now where are you getting into? This is where you're getting into dangerous territory, the family, right? Because families can argue about anything. Who cooked what? Who didn't cook? Who paid their part? Who didn't pay their part? Who didn't bring anything? Who brought store-bought food? Who ate the last piece of pie? Who did something in 1973? Who remembers from 1981 what you said to somebody? The particulars that they say they remember that maybe you forgot. Somebody always wants to bring up something that happened in 1979. What the heck? Now, I'm not trying to bring up the past. Yes, you are. I have forgotten 1979. I have forgotten 1989, 99. If it wasn't impactful in my life, I'm not trying to register all that negative stuff. I have let go of all the negativity because the moment somebody says, I'm not trying to bring up the past, get comfortable. Saddle up, baby. The past is about to come marching in. And you have to learn when to excuse yourself, like I do. Excuse yourself out of the room. Excuse yourself out of the, what do you want to call it? Get together, the barbecue, the den, the living room, where everybody's at. Sometimes you have to say, you all continue on. I'm going to go see if there's any more cake. or I'm going to go for a quick walk off all this food that we just ate. I refuse to sit at a family gathering anymore for 6 hours listening to two people argue about who was supposed to call who back in 1981 and never did. And so you quit talking for 20, 30 years. If you wanted to call each other, you both have phones, call somebody. But don't make me sit here and listen to this. I came for food and fellowship. And fellowship is not bringing up what happened 20, 30 years ago. Not an episode of the real arguments of the family get together. No. I'm exiting to the left with that too. I will not argue in a group chat either. Group chats are dangerous. One person sends, "Good morning, everyone." Another person sends a heart. Somebody else says, "Good morning." And somebody else says, "Well, I see nothing good about it." And then someone else says, "Well, I see nobody acknowledge my birthday yesterday." And there it is. There's the hook. Now, everybody in the group chat is apologizing because they had a life, they were busy, they missed it. Somebody is explaining that they were working. Somebody else is offended because they feel like birthdays are given too much attention. And then somebody sends a 14-minute voice note. Absolutely not done. Finito. No. I am not listening to a 14-minute voice note about why you are upset. If you cannot say it in 3 minutes, let's schedule a meeting, okay? And please stop adding me to group chats without asking me first if I want to be a part of the group chat. If you're falling out with somebody else and you just want a third person, don't call me. Don't put me on the group chat. I've been added to group chats that I just ignore because now I have 376 unread messages because somebody added me to a group chat. And somehow, in the middle of that, I missed the one message that said, "What time are we meeting?" So now somebody is upset because I didn't answer. I'm supposed to read all the group chats that I wasn't not even asked if I wanted to be a part of. No, my peace cannot survive all that. I am not arguing. Now, this is my favorite. I'm not arguing the argument. Now, when two people are arguing and both of them keep saying, "I'm not arguing," I am not arguing. Well, I'm not arguing either. Well, I'm not arguing either. I was just trying to explain. No, you are arguing. You absolutely are arguing. And the volume keeps getting louder. Honey, if your voice is at a level where the neighbors can participate, you're arguing. We have to stop calling arguments discussions just because we don't want to admit that we're arguing. Sometimes you are arguing. It's obvious. But I haven't learned to pay attention to how I feel. Excuse me, I have learned. What I meant to say is I have learned to pay attention to how I feel. And I haven't learned how to tell people to not make me a part of the group chat. I absolutely, because of all of the drama and chaos, especially in text message, because it can be just misconstrued. I've definitely learned to pay attention how I feel and how that makes me feel. And when I start feeling my shoulders tighten up, when I feel myself talking faster, when I start mentally preparing a speech, that's my cue. I need to go. Exit to the left. Because I have learned that not every conversation needs to be completed immediately. Sometimes you need to say, let's talk about this later. And sometimes later means to me never, never, ever, 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 never. My peace is important to me. I'm not arguing with strangers on the internet either. Now, that's a topic. This deserves its own public service announcement. I'm not arguing with strangers on the internet. I don't care what your profile picture looks like. I don't know you. I am not going back and forth for 6 hours with somebody named Real Truth underscore 1987. You could be arguing with a 14-year-old eating cereal for all you know, and you are still sitting there typing a 7-paragraph response with references. No, put the phone down. I have learned that social media gives everybody a microphone. Everybody. And everybody gets balls and a backbone when they're hiding behind a screen or a phone. And some people wake up every morning and choose violence. They're just angry, unhappy. So they choose violence. They don't want peace. They don't want understanding. They want engagement. People make up stuff for engagement. So why you gonna sit there and debate? Have a conversation with them. I've had people tell me that they have written stuff that's totally not who they are. It's fake. They do it for engagement. And I'm not giving them my blood pressure for a comment. No, sorry. Sometimes silence is not weakness. Now I want to get serious for a moment because I think some of us were raised to believe that if we don't respond, we are weak. If we don't defend ourselves immediately, we are weak. If we walk away, we are weak. But I disagree. Sometimes walking away requires more strength than staying. Baby, I'll walk away in a minute. I'll do block. I'll just be gone. Sometimes silence is the most powerful response that you can give someone. Not because you don't know what to say, because you know exactly what you could say. And you had decided that you are not going to say it. You are just going to walk away. You are just going to turn off the TV screen or turn off the YouTube or turn off the Facebook or the comments. You're just going to turn it off, turn away. And that is growth. That right there is maturity. That is knowing that some things are not worth the consequences. Sometimes you have to protect your peace. And yes, there are situations where you need to speak up. You need to defend yourself. You need to set boundaries. You need to have difficult conversations. But there is a difference between a difficult conversation and a pointless argument. A difficult conversation can lead to understanding. A pointless argument just leaves everybody tired and exhausted. And I have enough things in my life that make me tired and exhausted. I am not volunteering for additional exhaustion. I have learned to turn it off. I'm too old to let somebody ruin my whole day. Now, that right there, that is a tagline. Somebody says one thing to you at 9 in the morning, and at 9 at night, you are still thinking about it. You're brushing your teeth thinking, and another thing. You're in the shower giving the speech you should have given to them earlier. You'll suddenly think of the perfect comeback while you're driving your car. Now you have ruined your whole entire day over something that lasted 10 minutes. No, I'm not doing that. I refuse. Been there, done that. I am learning to stop giving people that much real estate in my mind. I don't have a penthouse in my head available for rent. No. You cannot say something foolish to me and then move into my thoughts for 3 days. Baby, no. I have learned to let that go. You are not paying bills here. No. I am not allowing somebody to ruin my morning, my afternoon, my dinner, my sleep, and my next day. Absolutely not. You said what you said. I heard what you said. I may not agree with what you said, but I refuse to give you an extended lease on my peace. No, ma'am, and no, sir. And I don't care who you are. The freedom of saying, okay, is another good one for me, just to squash it. You want to know one of the most powerful words in the English language? There's two. One is okay, and the other one is no. Somebody says, you should have done it differently. I'm saying, okay. You don't know what you're talking about, they say. I say, okay. You would never do what you, they would tell you, I will never do what you do, or I would never want to do what you did. My thought is, okay, I don't agree with your decision. I've had people say that to me. I don't agree with your decision. I don't like the way you're running your organization. My thought is, okay, it's mine, right? So you don't have to agree. Now, sometimes okay means I hear you. Sometimes it means I disagree. Sometimes it means I don't have the time for this. And sometimes okay means if you say one more word, I'm going to need to leave for good. I have even said to people, I am discontinuing this conversation because it is simply exhausting me. But the beauty of okay is that it doesn't invite a debate. You've had expressed your opinion. I have acknowledged that you have an opinion and we are finished. I said okay. I don't have to make you understand me. I don't have to make you agree with me. I don't have to convince you that my choices are valid and they're my choices. I can simply say, okay, and go on with my life. So, from all of that, I only wanted this to be 30 minutes, but I want, I hope that from everything that I have said, what have we learned today is that we have learned that not every disagreement requires an argument or a debate. We can agree to disagree, say okay, and keep it going. Nobody has to be mad for 6 months to a year. That is stupid. That is a waste of energy. That is negative energy. That is black energy, meaning bad energy. Not every opinion requires my response. Not every comment deserves my attention. Not every invitation to confusion needs to be accepted. Listen, God is not the author of chaos and confusion. So not any, I'm going to change that from every to any invitation to confusion needs to be accepted, voided. And not every person who wants access to your energy deserves it. Use discernment. I have reached a beautiful place in my life where I understand that peace is valuable. My time is valuable. My energy is valuable. My feelings are valuable. And I am not spending those precious things arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding me. They're committed to it because they want to misunderstand me. They don't want to really know who I am, how I feel, what I think. They are committed to misunderstanding me. And I am committed to not wasting my energy. You can have a different opinion. It's okay. You can disagree with me. That's okay too. You can think I'm wrong. It's okay. And guess what? I can and will survive that. And the world will continue turning. The sun will come up every morning. My coffee will still taste good, and I will still be fabulous. I no longer need to win every argument or debate. I no longer even need to have one with you. I no longer need the last word. I don't care. I don't. I no longer need everybody to agree with me at all. And I certainly don't need to sacrifice my peace just to prove a point. Now, please understand me. There are things worth speaking about. There are things worth addressing. There are boundaries that need to be established, absolutely. There are wrongs that should be confronted. There are important conversations that must happen. But today, I am talking about the unnecessary arguments, the unnecessary messiness, the foolishness, the back and forth, the yes you did and the no I didn't, and the yes you did conversations that leave everybody looking absolutely crazy. I don't want it. You can keep it. I have absolutely no desire to argue. I want peace. I want laughter. I want meaningful conversations. I want to talk to people who want to talk to me. I want to be around people who want to be around me. I want to engage with people that understand that it is okay to disagree. I want to be around people that who don't have to have the same opinion of me or feel like my opinion is wrong and theirs is right. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be around like-minded people, whether it's friends or family. I have family that we don't think alike or feel alike. I don't care to be around them much. I don't want to invite the chaos, the drama, the arguments, and the trauma. I want peace. I want to enjoy the rest of my life. I want to travel. I want to make memories. I have nobody out there helping me do anything. So why do I care what anybody thinks? They don't care about what I think, or they wouldn't want to always debate. I want to sit somewhere beautiful and drink something delicious and laugh with people that enjoy my company. I don't want to spend my afternoon arguing about something I don't even remember. I won't even remember it next week. It's not important. So my challenge to you today is this. The next time somebody tries to pull you into a pointless argument, pause, pause, pause. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, walk away. Put down the phone. Exit the group chat. Stop typing that 14-paragraph response. Drink some water. Eat a snack. Take a nap. Do something that makes you happy, because life is too short and your energy is too valuable to spend it arguing about foolishness. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope this episode made you think a little bit. I hope it made you laugh. I actually hope it made you think a lot. And most of all, I hope it gave you permission to stop participating in conversations that do absolutely nothing for your peace. If it uses your energy in a negative way, stop. But if you enjoyed this episode, please like it, share it, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to reach people. If I just reach one person and help them, I will have felt like I've done a great deed. But in order to do that, I need you to subscribe, like it, comment, share. And I want you to answer this question for me. What, and you can put it in the comments. I go back and read the comments. What is one thing you are absolutely too grown to argue about anymore? Put that in the comments for me. I want to see what people think. And listen, keep it funny because I already know some of y'all have some stories to tell. People that know me tell me I should write a book. I have some stories to tell, and I'm telling them here on this podcast. Until next time, this is your girl, Goldn Bronze, reminding you you do not have to attend every argument you're invited to. You do not have to respond to every comment. You do not have to explain yourself to everybody. And you most certainly do not have to give anybody the last of your energy. Protect your peace. Guard your joy and your energy. Choose your battles wisely. And sometimes just say, okay, and walk away. Because as for me, I have absolutely no desire to argue. And I mean that. Unless we're arguing about who gets the last piece of cake, now that might be worth a discussion. Otherwise, okay, and let it go. Until the next time, everybody, keep living, keep laughing, keep enjoying your life, and remember, you are never too grown to have fun, but you are definitely grown enough to know when an argument is simply not worth your peace. This is Goldn Bronze. Thank you for joining me here at Home with Goldn Bronze, and I'll see you next time around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. Peace out and have a blessed day. See you then. Bye bye.